Just getting a spot at this year's SEMA convention in Las Vegas is an honor for the legions of car enthusiasts who will stop at nothing to modify and tune their cars into the ultimate individual expression of art and engineering. But what would happen if you took the third largest trade show in the world and combined it with the world's biggest auto racing franchise? You might just have a dream come true for one lucky car owner as Gran Turismo's creator Kazunori Yamauchi and a cast of expert judges handpicked 5 best-of-category cars from the show. This cream of the crop would then compete to see who would get to feature their dream machine as a playable car in the next installment of the world's best driving game, GT4.
The SEMA show is a gigantic show, but yet Gran Turismo is a gigantic franchise, and to have them come to the SEMA show and look for a car that they believe would be worthy of the game is incredibly flattering.
What I'm really looking for is the cars that will actually perform as good as they look. It's a matter of style, it's a matter of stance, but really it's a matter of performance. What are the quickest cars? Kind of a race me home scenario.
So I'm looking for something that you can actually drive. The tires don't rub, the chassis doesn't squeak, it makes good power, but it's not ridiculously loud or obnoxious. Supercharger is always a good choice. This one's intercooled, supercharged.
Excellent power, good handling, just a good overall balance of looks, performance, and just general attractiveness.
Well integrated, slick looking, a little attitude without craziness.
Something that gets my blood pumping, something that I would want to drive home.
So that's what it takes to make a winning car. Are there any specific attributes your car needs to take it to the next level? Namely becoming a playable in GT4?
Well, GT4 is all about fun, so a lot of good suspension and grip, because the vehicle can look great, but if it doesn't go fast and handle well and stop well, the people who are playing the game are not going to choose it.
To really win a place in a game like GT4, because the game is so far advanced, it's really a balance of engineering, the amount of tire that you can get under the fender wells, because you've got to have a car that can actually make some grip, and something that's light enough so that when you run it around the road course, it actually makes sense. Doing awards like this at the SEMA show so that we can get a car into GT4, you've got a chance to have all of your hard work actually show up in the game on screen, and this is something guys can play with for a long time. So as far as I'm concerned, it's one of the coolest things I've ever been involved with.
Why is the automotive industry taking such a keen interest in GT4 and aftermarket cars like those featured in the SEMA Auto Show?
Being in GT4, that's like worldwide advertising. I mean, on probably the grandest scale.
The automotive industry really needs things like Gran Turismo 4 because it's hard to get new customers into this business. The kids can just as easily go snowboarding next year. By having titles like this, it actually keeps them involved. It makes people understand that this is fun stuff and it's something worth spending your money on.
Now you see cars brought to America specifically because the kids have been playing it on these video games. The whole WRC rally movement, the STI Subaru, the Mitsubishi Evolution 7, Evolution 8, and the kids demanded that these cars be brought to the States, and these manufacturers have done that. I've driven these cars, they're fantastic, and in a way I have GT4 to thank for this.
You've seen the competition, so now it's time to place your bets. Which of these modified supercars will get a chance to race in the world's greatest driving game and spark the creative imagination of a whole new generation of car lovers?
We're here tonight on Automotive Excellence.
The overall balance of the car was perfect. The engine specifications, the exterior, the interior design, the brake performance, shocks, you name it, it's there. This car stood out like a jewel.
Unfortunately, even our judges didn't get a chance to drive this gem, but you'll get your opportunity when the highly anticipated GT4 hits the streets. So what exactly makes a cool GT4 ride? Well, the PlayStation Underground spent an afternoon with Cameron Evans, one of the auto industry judges from the GT4 awards panel and host of Hot Rodding TV. We followed Cameron as he walked the floor of the Specialty Equipment Market Association's annual SEMA Auto Show in Las Vegas and shared his expert insights to get an in-depth look at what goes into choosing an award-winning car.
This show is absolutely huge, but finally we found our first car. It's Mark Kroll's Z28. It's a convertible, it's in the Holly booth. This thing goes as fast as it looks. Now, 20-inch wheels on one of these cars is not that easy to do. This car's gotta be tough. There's no way you can get that much wheel inside one of these cars. When you look, big guys, you wouldn't think that your legs are gonna get in the way. With this thing, it's got a flat steering wheel, so that way when you turn the wheel to the left, hey, it will clear your legs. You know, an interesting angle to GT4 that no one's ever thought about is all the pre-runner cars from Southern California. Couldn't they work well on a rally course? I think they could. Check out this Ranger. This thing would, yeah, it rides a little high, but this could be pretty fun to drive. You know this truck's tall when a guy that's 6'5" has to get on his toes to be able to look under the hood. This thing's got some ride height. Sex on wheels is a pretty good term for it.
You know, it's over 700 horsepower, 2,000 pounds, ground effects. To drive this car, it just takes your breath away.
Yeah, it's like an old shoe.
This works. Sports car fans will remember there was a little bubble over the hood on one of these cars for the tallest driver ever. A lot of people don't think of Saturn in performance, but when you look at a car like this, you see that the aftermarket is actually taking to these cars very well. It's got some of the little performance items that kids can actually do. This car is very realistic when it comes time to repeat this. It's also got a turbo kit, which you don't see too often on Saturns. Now, tell me a little bit about the actual modifications to this car beyond what you can see with the naked eye.
Okay, well, Good Performance has turbocharged it. That's what all these pipings are for. Adds about 85 horsepower to the wheels, bolts direct onto a stock motor. There's also upgrades, camshafts for it, which add about 15 horsepower to the wheels. Throttle body upgrade, and then there's also headers for it. So it's a basic, easy bolt-on, ready-to-go kit.
You have the sensible Saturn.
Yes.
Hey, this thing could make it. This 62 Corvette is a perfect example of a hot rod for GT4. I mean, not only does it have the classic lines, it's got a little more wheel and tire, a little bit of suspension. It's got the upgrade you want, but the most important thing about this particular 62 Corvette is the ZZ430 engine. This engine is one of the most rare crate engines you can possibly buy from General Motors. To me, this is perfect for the hot rod category. Now, when you look at a title like Gran Turismo 4 and all the tuner cars that come from Japan, you haven't seen that many tuner cars that come from America. Roush is now in this game. They're building a 2004 Ford Focus directly from Roush Performance that you can order up just like this. This is a real GT4 car. One of the reasons people come to the SEMA show is to see the hottest cars built for the year. Now, this particular car belongs to Ted and Sue Richardson. It's a 62 Buick that's got all sorts of modifications to the point you can't even list them. This is a very valuable, expensive car, but it actually works very well. It makes a lot of power, makes a lot of grip, it handles very well. It's got giant bare brakes on it. They call it Buick-it. You can see from under the hood. I mean, it's got a real Buick engine. These are some of the unique things that I'm looking for as I judge these cars, and they could very easily be made right into a car in Gran Turismo. As you can see, the SEMA show is absolutely giant. We've judged all sorts of different cars for Gran Turismo 4, but now we need to find out who the winner is. In fact, I've got to go, man. We got other cars to go see. We've got to make sure we come up with the winner. This could be one of them.